Is it on? Yeah.
Good job.
Welcome to McChats Live on McGTV. I'm Mike McG, and here with me is Dan Baugher.
Sorry, I
dying
was
to do that.
with you, but I totally started laughing in the middle of it. So hello and welcome
Hello.
to McChats.
Yeah, you do the promo. I'm Mike McG. This is Dan Baugher from Three Geeks. And in case you didn't recognize that tune, don't worry. As soon as you watch this movie, that tune will be stuck in your head on repeat for the whole day. So, welcome back. Here we talk about some classic, either Z-grade exploitation or just kind of cheesy fun stuff from way back when with regards to movies. And this one actually was very much a treat for me to revisit too, because this is one of those few movies I was able to just in the heyday download for free and watch for free because it is in the public domain, and so you can watch it yourself for free on Internet Archive, I believe. But this is well worth the time. Usually when you have some kind of movie that's free to download off of the public domain, they're not necessarily the best quality movies at times, but you got a couple of gems in there, and this is definitely one of them. One of the best martial arts movies I've seen, if not one of the greatest martial arts movies of all time, I believe. Dan?
Oh yeah, I mean I generally actually really like this film. However, there seems to be an actual restored subtitled print, but it was only available in Europe. So the one that we get here in the U.S. is this awfully dubbed one, and I swear, three guys do Sonny Chiba's voice through this whole thing.
It does kind of change up quality.
Yeah, because he's like when he's fighting, he's got that guttural I'm gonna kill you, and then it's like when he's talking to the girl, it's like a completely different voice. He's like,
it's
I'll
like
protect
husky.
you. It's good.
Yeah. It's like husky and seductive whenever he's just talking to people, but then you got okay. So the movie we're talking about is, if you can't see by the titles card, the Street Fighter from 1974, starring Sonny Chiba, from what's the production company called again? Toei. I never get it right.
Toei, isn't it?
Toei, yeah. Okay.
If not, it's the other one with the geometric symbol with water crashing onto rocks.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, I think that is Toei, or maybe it was a joint effort between Toei and Toho. I can't remember. I should probably have some information up here with it. But yeah, produced by Toei Company Limited.
Okay.
Released to the U.S. by New Line Cinema. And like I said, it's one of the few movies of good quality out there that's in the public domain that you can just watch for free online. So I wholeheartedly recommend it. I believe the sequel is also public domain, but the last one, there's like a trilogy of them. It's the Street Fighter, Return of the Street Fighter, and the Street Fighter's Last Revenge. But I believe the third and final one isn't public domain, but the first two should be.
But you're missing Sister Street Fighter.
The Sister Street Fighter? No, I didn't know that
one. It doesn't have Sonny Chiba, but it was done by the same director.
Huh. What year was that?
I think it was 79.
79. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So before we get into what we gloriously love about this movie and some stuff that makes us laugh or some stuff that makes us just gawk with geeky wonder, kind of the down low of this particular story is Sonny Chiba is essentially a mercenary for hire, and goes around doing odd jobs for whoever employs him, such as breaking a dude out of prison for his family. And then he's at first hired by the Yakuza, who also, what were you saying about the Yakuza earlier?
Well, it seems oddly convoluted in this dub, but apparently the Yakuza supplies killers for the Italian mob in this. And I'm not sure how it's all supposed to go together, but everybody has their sights on this oil baron's
heiress
business. Yeah. So they kill him and they try to get her to sign everything over.
Right. And okay, yeah, because the Italian mob doesn't really show up until the very end.
Yeah.
and is represented by two white guys. One of them looks surprisingly like Peter Stormare a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. but they're in no way, like actual, Sicilian or Italian. They're just like regular white dudes.
Yep. Because, that's the way all white people are.
Yeah.
They're either Italian or you have the one black guy in here who we'll get to because, dear God. But, so, yeah, at first they want to hire Sonny Chiba's character. His name is Tsurugi.
Yeah.
Tsurugi, but everyone calls him Teddy. And he refuses their offer, but then goes to kind of warn the heiress and her family, who her uncle happens to be like this dojo master, who happens to know that he is a half Japanese, half Chinese son of a famous fighter from the war that was killed. And then it becomes kind of like, I guess, the transporter or the professional in which, like, you're basically protecting somebody. And he does that with the help of his Rob Schneider-like sidekick.
I never get the sidekicks in these kind of movies, but okay.
This one, I mean, well, that's basically the gist of the story. Go watch it for yourself. It's got a lot of good martial arts action, a lot of good, a lot of blood spattering effects, definitely, that work pretty well. Even though we know blood's not that color, and there's no way that much can exist in that type of wound. But what works for you for this movie?
It's like comic book blood effects. I mean, really.
Or like something you'd see in, what was it, a Shaw Brothers movie or something like that, where
Yeah,
it's just
or
fountains of it.
even Dawn of the Dead. I mean, the same.
Yep, that's true. Which, by the way, you should go check out our Dawn of the Dead review over at 3 Geeks Network for Frady Geeks.
Shameless plug.
Shameless plugs. That's what we're all about here. We'll talk about the movie a little bit, but then we'll also, got to get in our advertisement while we can. But there's many things that work for me in this movie, but let's just kick it off with you. What are some things that really work for you in this film? Hello? Here. We seem to have lost Dan. I don't know. Let's see here. Dan, can you hear me? Can you feel me, Dan? Anyways, while we sort that out there a little bit, let me just pick up a little bit here. What I enjoy from this movie is, again, the action is really like intense and cool, and very well orchestrated, very well choreographed, and Sonny Chiba sells that stuff. But very much so, it's his expressions that really kind of sell the whole film for me, because he's just so rubbery faced and exaggerated, with really wide eyes and wide expressions all the time. And every time he sorry, I'm messaging Dan while I'm doing this too, but every time he winds up to get into a fight, he always gets into this high energy, like deep breathing, like he's almost about to hawk a loogie on somebody, but then he just lets go and lets all these like weird contortionist like expressions on his face go on throughout the fight. And just his facial expressions alone are well worth watching, because it's like watching a Warner Brothers cartoon come to life at times with Sonny Chiba. And we got Dan back. Awesome.
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay, cool. I was just that's okay. Whatever. Quality.
Yay. That's what you get here with 3 Geeks and
McGTV.
compilations.
Whatever. It shows that we're very fallible. We're just guys. We're just your average Joes. We're not like the big head honchos with millions of dollars for production, but we still have heart. Much like Sonny Chiba in this movie, which while you were fixing that up, I was talking about Sonny Chiba's like exaggerated facial expressions throughout this entire movie.
Oh yeah, the man can mug. I mean, that's he's got like the greatest. You don't even see what his foot is doing, but it must be doing something awesome because his face keeps making awesome looks.
Yeah, and also saying like how he kind of winds up into a lot of his action scenes with like it's the sounds he makes, like he's about to like hawk a loogie on somebody, like
Yeah, that gets kind of explained in part 2.
oh, it does.
They go through like it to fill out the running length. They add like different, like these are nunchucks and this is a spear. But
Mhm.
there's one part it's like this is karate breathing, and it's just like this 5 minute like segment of all of these dudes lined up just breathing weird.
Mhm. Which I mean, I can buy. Yeah, it is kind of like a mental, spiritual, like preparation thing before you do any physical exertion, perhaps, with regards to that particular martial arts, maybe. But yeah, he just goes for broke in this with his energy is really like cool. And that's the thing is that I'm not gonna pretend like, oh yeah, I've known about Street Fighter ever since I was yay big. But no, like what turned me into it was watching Kill Bill and seeing like who is this Sonny Chiba or who is this Hattori Hanzo guy in this movie. And I'm like, oh, Sonny Chiba. I wonder what else he's been in. I like this guy. And then I'm like, oh, crap, a cool like public domain movie. I can watch that. But yeah, he's like one of my favorite like action stars from that era now, just because of he's not really playing a really great guy in this movie. Like I'd say a good 25 to 40% of this film is his fault.
Yeah. I mean, Terry's kind of a dick. I mean, he gets the dude out of prison in the very beginning of the film, and then like the dude's family can't pay, so he throws the guy out the window, and then he sells the chick to slave traders.
Well, he doesn't really throw the guy out the. Some of the deaths in this movie are pretty hilarious. Like so he gets this guy out, and his brother and sister are gonna come pick him up, but he's like, nope, you don't have the money or you don't have the payment proper, so no deal. And so they get into a fight, and then the dude's brother like jump kicks, misses him, and jump kicks out the window in slow motion. That's really.
I mean, I think that you were supposed to think that like Terry kind of like helped him out the window.
Oh, okay.
Otherwise, he's like the karate class above Weird Al's apartment and UHF.
UHF.
They're just like jumping out the window, and Cooney comes out and goes stupid.
Oh man, maybe that should be next on our viewing list. Some UHF. But yeah, you're right. He sells the sister into. Well, he doesn't sell her, but he gives her up to the Yakuza, I guess, or the Japanese mob, and they end up putting her to. Yeah, that's true. And then yeah, I guess he does sell her, but this mob that has a bunch of Japanese guys, but one black guy, and his whole character motivation in this entire movie is rape.
It's pretty much.
Like just from the get-go, every facial expression this guy has says, I'm gonna rape something.
And I really love my job here.
Yeah, he's really, really happy about his job. It's like even later, I remember when I first saw it too now, as when they capture the heiress and they like got her holed up in that apartment, and he comes in and drops off like breakfast for her. Just from his facial expression alone, I'm like, yeah, I know where this is going right away. This is so bad.
Like he gets through the door and he looks down. He's like, why am I bringing breakfast here? I know what I came for.
And yeah, rape is not funny, but the 70s somehow made it very, very cheesy. And he gets his just desserts. Sonny Chiba rips his balls off. And that was actually one of my favorite scenes too, because he's in a fight with him, or he's got him in a chokehold. He like reaches down there, and you can hear the guy screaming, and then he comes up and he's got like bloody cloth and everything. But what really made me laugh out loud was when he tossed the cloth down, you just hear thud. I'm like, Jesus, how big were his balls, man?
On that note, in the slight research that I did for this movie, you this is the first movie that got a rated X for violence here in the
Hmm.
U.S.
Yeah, just solely for the violence. I mean, I understand that too. There is some, for the time, some very visceral stuff. Guys getting their eyes poked out, dude at the end getting his throat ripped out, and for a second, it looks like Sonny Chiba's about to eat his larynx. Like he holds it in triumph on the ground, but like I wouldn't have been surprised if he'd been like and just like digs in.
He's kind of looking at it like, "What do I do with it now? Let's eat it."
Like his expressions make this movie. But yeah, the violence for the time was very graphic, and I guess the content as well, talking about like sex slavery and attempted rape and things like that. You know, it's bound to not go unnoticed by the X rating system at that time.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I really like about this though is that the violence. I mean, the actual like karate that he uses.
Mm-hmm.
It's done like it would be in real life, I suppose. I mean, not being a karate expert and fighting off Yakuza thugs, I can only guess. But it's not like the Shaw brothers had like all the flourishes. Like,
Right.
here's a guy with a segmented pole and he's jumping around, twirling it and stuff. But Sonny Chiba in this, I mean, this is, I would guess, how it would actually be used. I mean, they're quick moves. They go for the soft bits.
Yeah.
Um, I mean that's one reason I really like this. It looks violent.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the thing is that I guess it's modern contemporary would be something along the lines of maybe the Raid or something where the fighting is very close quarters in a way, and it
Yeah,
is very intimate in that aspect where it's not relying, like you said, yeah, on like so much of like elaborate weaponry or like fanciful moves, even a little bit of like wire work or stunt wire work in that aspect. It's more just about like, okay, here's the gritty, like up close and personal type of fighting until someone pulls a gun, and then he
yeah.
just relies on his clever wrist blades to throw at him.
Oh, and the people that he knocks down, they're not like down and out. They're like down and rolling around, writhing in pain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Something you normally see in a martial arts flick.
It's very it gets very creative, I'll say, with the beatings. Like I believe this was one of the first movies, first martial arts movies I saw where basically like, yeah, in a fight he basically has this one guy up against the post and just slaps the ever loving shit out of him until he spits up his own teeth. And I'm like, I've never seen that before. Like the reality of that situation, maybe not so much, but I'm like, huh, I've never seen a dude like spit up 10 of his teeth all at once before. That's something.
And
Is there
great shot
yeah.
too.
Is there
You,
anything that doesn't necessarily work for you in this movie at all?
uh, I don't know. I think I can like write off most of it with the dub
Mm-hmm.
because it's pretty god awful in parts, especially his little sidekick dude. Because
Yeah.
he just like wanders around. He's like Teddy, Teddy, oh the chicken,
Don't
and,
ever make chicken for me again.
but if he's not making chicken, what is his use?
Yeah, apparently. Well, no, he stops the ambulance in the very beginning,
Yeah,
right?
but I mean, Terry could do that. I guess he could just like run up beside it and start throwing people out the window. I mean,
Yeah. The I will say, aside from just the title, because I'm like, there's not much actual street fighting involved. I mean, there's you know dojo fighting and there's oil tanker fighting. Not
there's
not
like
so,
junkyard fighting and a lot of hallway fighting.
but not so much street fighting. Yeah. Aside from that, yeah, the what was his character's name again? Too his sidekick. I keep calling him the Rob Schneider sidekick, but I know that's
Was
on
it
it.
Fat Nose or
Um,
something Nose? Big Nose.
rat nose.
Fat Nose. There you go.
Rat nose. Such a complimentary name. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, this character, he is very much comic relief. Uh, there are times, I mean, he's okay and he's likable at times. I did feel bad when, I'm sorry, spoilers, he gets it. But that's mainly just because Sonny Chiba's reaction to it is very kind of heartfelt from the looks of things. Like he sheds a tear.
Yeah, it's like the only time you see him sad, pretty much.
Yeah, the rest of the time he's just like either smug or like forcing women to kiss him.
Yeah, or just like some guy just jumped out my window. Cool,
Okay, nonchalant about that.
whatever.
But yeah, the scene where he's being tortured by on the shoreline and Ratnose just gives up the girl's location. It's just like, Daddy, Daddy, Daddy. It's just
Yeah.
like kissing his feet while this other dude is like holding that huge ass sword at his throat. Like, but it's been a while since I've actually seen. I think I've only seen Return of the Street Fighter. I haven't seen the third one, but maybe that'll be one we'd have to visit at another time for sure. But
You're not really missing too much. I mean, ripped out throat guy comes back.
oh, so he
And
didn't die. Okay.
no, they got the best surgeons for him, and now he talks like a robot.
Cool. Oh, I'm definitely gonna watch it now. I've got the. I do recommend. I do have the whole saga on like DVD. It's this like 6-pack of movies called The Fists of Death, and it's got all the the 3 Street Fighter films on it. But then it's also got the real Bruce Lee, Fists of Bruce Lee, and the image of Bruce Lee on it. So if you're looking for all 3 Street Fighter films in one package, that would be the one. Or you can just watch them online for free, I'm sure.
But none of
But
those films actually have Bruce Lee in it.
nah, or if they do, it's for like 4 minutes at a time, and they're just highlight reels of other movies. Like there's Bruce Lee, Dragon Lee, and Sonny Chiba are the featured ones.
Nice.
But I do like the ending to this movie though, because at one point I don't know why I was thinking Rocky, but I was at the end of this movie where
It's
it's
the
like,
soundtrack.
yeah, it was definitely the soundtrack, but also the fact that it's like the end for now. Heads up for the return of the Street Fighter, which I guess it was already in production or was already finished filming by
I'm
the time
sure
they
it
released
was because it's like it's what I call Silent Night, Deadly Night 2 syndrome,
it. Mm-hmm.
where like you have like some of a film, like a half of a story, but you've got to fill the rest with like flashbacks from what happened in the first one.
Okay.
So it's got maybe like 40 minutes of new stuff, most of which is like, uh, you know, here's how we use a sword and here's how we punch through stuff. And then you got flashbacks, and then the rest is just kind of like a very loose sequel to this.
Yeah, where it's like, okay, so it's almost not necessarily Godfrey Ho cut and paste stuff, but to the point where it's like, well, we're going to build a story around all these pre-shot sequences.
Yeah, it's like they want to sell you a part 2, but they didn't really want to film a whole lot more. So they filmed like a half an hour, and then they fill the rest with just flashbacks.
Okay. Well, that might be next on my viewing here today. Definitely. I'll just have to power on through 2 and 3. It's like, might as well see it to completion. One question I did have for you was, if they were to ever revitalize this franchise, how could you see them messing it up in modern day cinema?
Oh, easy. They make him into a good guy. They cast him as like Nicolas Cage. And before you say, "Oh, they wouldn't do that," I bring out Bangkok Dangerous.
Mm-hmm. I'd say it's a pretty.
Yeah, and then you have them all be like teenagers with like hot rod cars.
It'd be like the young adult version of the Street Fighter. It wouldn't be
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage. It would be what's his name? Who's an agent? That the werewolf kid.
I don't even know.
Taylor Lautner from the
Okay.
Twilight
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
That kid has been dying to get into like legit action movies. He did I didn't see any of these obviously, but he did like a parkour action movie or whatever. It was basically like Point Break but with parkour.
Oh, geez.
And another movie that came out where he was like a sleeper agent or something like that. But obviously they went over so well and were so memorable. But I can see like Hollywood really trying to be like, okay, let's youth this up a little bit. Because that's the thing. It's like Sonny Chiba in this movie, he's not youthful really. Like you can tell he's like a grizzled veteran warrior of some kind. But
Well,
that's fine.
he's a street fighter. I mean, maybe he was a street fighter in the past, and now he's like older guy.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's mob fighter.
Well, I know that they had to rename it a little bit too. In the UK, it was called, released as Kung Fu Street Fighter, even though it has nothing to do with Kung Fu. But it was presumably to avoid confusion with Hard Times with Charles Bronson, which had been released under the Street Fighter title in the UK.
That makes sense, I guess.
But now in this day and age, I can kind of see it being like, so we got the Street Fighter. How do we make it really sellable to the kids? You know what? We have this video game series that hasn't been doing so great with its movie adaptations.
Oh, jeez. Well, they just turned him into Ken.
Yep, that's what it would be. He turned into Ken. No, or Ryu or one of those two. They're both the same guy.
You want to make the American audience, it's got to be Ken.
Oh, that is true. Yeah, with what they're planning to do with like Ghost in the Shell and everything, they would be the American remake, I guess.
And the stubby karate guy would just be like E Honda.
Rat Nose would be Blanca.
Yeah. You burned my chicken, Blanca.
You wouldn't even have to use the oven at all either. He'd just like sit there and like be electrocuting the chicken, curled up in the ball.
Just put it on his back and
yeah, his orange hair is standing on end. Which there was a ginger Japanese dude in this, and I can't remember his name, but he was the big guy at the end who, honestly, I thought he was working for the Yakuza and stuff, but at the very end, he's like steadying Terry on his feet.
Oh no, that's the mob boss guy.
Oh, it was?
Yeah, because he told the one guy that got his throat ripped out, Junjo, was it?
It was, yeah. If you do a one-on-one thing, then and you win, then that'll be that. But if he wins,
yeah, because he was old and he just, I guess, wanted to pass it off to somebody. So he was like, Sonny Chiba's alive, he can have it.
I don't want to do nothing. And the Italians are totally cool with this.
Yeah, of course. Well, they're all dead. So
yeah, because how dare they interrupt the fight, the honorable fight, by shooting him in the knee.
And who's going to know what happened on that boat because everybody's dead except for 3 people?
That is true. As I was watching it now, because it had been a couple years since I'd revisited the movie as a whole, but as I was watching that whole infiltration scene on the boat, I was like, so that's where the Captain America guys got it. Because I was like, there's something about the Winter Soldier opening sequence that is really like something's very familiar about. I'm like, oh, it's because Sonny Chiba did the exact same thing. He just doesn't have a shield.
Sonny Chiba is Winter Soldier.
There we go. And that's how you do an incorporation there. You incorporate the Street Fighter universe into the Marvel Cinematic Universe and just say Sonny Chiba is, well, he could be or not maybe not Sonny Chiba at this point because guy's old, but who would be the master of no, that's DC, isn't it? I'm confusing my properties.
He could be I forget his name, but the bad guy for Iron Fist.
That's what it was.
Like who didn't get to have fun with the dragon.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Shang-Chi. Is it Shang-Chi?
I don't remember.
What's the name? There is a Marvel superhero out there. Please let us know because I'm botching it up right now. But yeah, who is a martial artist and is very much in the vein of something like Bruce Lee or a Sonny Chiba type character.
Or you could just have a Japanese power fist. There you go.
There you go. That would work. But Iron Fist. You're already thinking.
No, because they've already cast Iron. Oh yeah, they've already cast Power Man too. Damn.
Yeah, Power Man has been active for a while.
Fair enough.
No, but that's how you do it. That's how you incorporate right there. And I'm sure like the rights for the Street Fighter franchise are cheap to come by. I mean, if they're just having their movies be out there for free, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Except for the third one, oddly enough.
Yeah, I guess the third one was the only one. But I wholeheartedly recommend checking out this movie. It is a lot of fun if you like kind of visceral but cheesy action martial arts type stuff. This definitely has the right balance of it. I feel like there was definitely stuff to laugh at in it, but at the same time, I got invested with what Terry was going through.
I mean, it's got two really good fights in it. The
Mm-hmm.
the one against the school guy and the one at the end. I mean, they're actually like really good, martial arts movie fights. So yeah, I would highly recommend it.
Definitely. And like I said, it's available for free online right now. Just do a Google search for it. I'm sure it'll come up, the full movie. But that is kind of our cast for today on the Street Fighter. Definitely. Unless you have anything else to add for it.
No, I'm good.
All right. Where should we focus our attention next? In a particular genre or a particular title just leaping to mind right now that you've had in mind for a while?
I think it's your turn to pick, man.
Oh, is it my turn to pick? Let me see here. Huh. Well, this might be a hard one to come by, though. Huh. I'm not sure. Like, do we have a cutoff date in mind for any of these movies? Like, some people only like review or go over certain movies at a certain year.
No, I'm good.
You're good for anything? Because I was thinking we can come back to martial arts stuff and definitely the Street Fighter franchise at a later time. But we've done horror movie, kind of with Vengeance of the Zombies.
Kind of.
We did weird action, spiritual fantasy stuff with Killing of Satan. We did a sci-fi / gay porn type movie with Planet of Dinosaurs, whatever that was. And this definitely fills out the martial arts quota. I'd say you want to go for just some kind of very sleazy, exploitative, almost biopic?
Sure.
How easy would it be for you to get a copy of Wired?
Oh man.
Because I have the VHS, so I'm okay on this end. But I know
I could
Wired.
probably find one.
All right. Well, just let me know. We'll let you all know too. If maybe we'll have to change circumstances or something. But because I've wanted to I know Brad Jones as a Cinema Snob character did a review of Wired at one point. I saw kind of the highlights of that, but I haven't actually seen the full film yet. And I've had this unopened VHS copy here just sitting on my shelf.
Well, don't watch it. Sell it. It's unopened.
Well, no, I guess not unopened.
Okay.
I got it kind of in a bin from like this donation bin or whatever. Someone obviously didn't hold it in high regard. It's like in pristine condition, but it's unwrapped and everything. So I want to maybe just put in the VCR and give it a whirl, I guess.
He probably shouldn't hold it in high regard, but okay.
But let me know if you can get a copy of that, because if anything, maybe we'll continue on with that film.
Not a problem.
All right. You've been listening to McChats Live here on McG for the Street Fighter review. This is Mike McG, and thanks again once to Dan Baugher from 3 Geeks Network and the 3 Geeks podcast. Believe check us out tomorrow night for the regular 3 Geeks podcast, as well as Frady Geeks an hour or so beforehand, where we'll be discussing a scary movie or two. All right. Thanks, Dan.
Not a problem, man. Bye-bye.
Later.